Dangerous cancer-causing foods. A warning for everyone. Are you really sure that your daily meals are not hiding a silent poison that could be slowly destroying your body day by day? It sounds terrifying, but the truth is that some foods, which seem completely harmless and are even incredibly common in almost every household, are actually the hidden culprits behind a range of deadly cancers. These include liver cancer, colon cancer, stomach cancer, as well as blood cancer and brain cancer. Did you know that simply eating the wrong kinds of food, or eating them too often or at the wrong times, can increase your risk of developing cancer by as much as 60 to 80%, according to many modern medical studies? The real problem is that most of us have absolutely no idea. This video is not meant to scare you, but if you care about your health, or the health of your parents or your children, then please take a few minutes and watch until the very end. Because the foods we are about to talk about might already be sitting in your fridge right now. First, let us talk about animal liver. If you eat too much of it or cook it the wrong way, do not be reckless unless you want to end up in the hospital. A 14-year-old boy was hospitalized with severe nausea, intense abdominal pain, and full-body jaundice, all because he ate crispy fried chicken liver cooked by his mother. No one expected that what seemed like a nutritious dish had actually been poisoning his body for several months. Liver, often referred to as the storage house of vitamins and nutrients in animals, is ironically also the organ that accumulates the most dangerous toxins, especially if you consume it too frequently or cook it improperly. In this video, we are going to break down the truth behind this familiar dish, through a scientific lens and real-life stories that will make you think twice before taking that last bite of liver. The liver is the largest internal organ in an animal's body. It is responsible for detoxification, nutrient metabolism, and the production of vital enzymes. Nutritional highlights of liver include vitamin A, extremely high, especially in beef and chicken liver, heme iron, easily absorbed by the body, vitamin B12, B2, zinc, copper, folic acid, good for blood health. However, because it acts as a toxin filter, liver is also the place where heavy metals like cadmium and mercury accumulate. Residues of growth hormones and antibiotics from industrial farming remain. Parasites can survive if the liver is not thoroughly cooked. Do not forget, the liver cannot eliminate 100% of toxins. Many harmful substances remain, especially if the animal is sick, raised on industrial farms, or fed genetically modified feed. Unexpected health risks. When is eating liver too much? In China, a man developed acute vitamin A poisoning. He experienced blurred vision, vomiting, and lost his balance, simply from eating bear liver every day for 1 week. Scientific analysis shows a 100-gram piece of beef liver contains up to 6 to 7 times the daily recommended intake of vitamin A. Excessive vitamin A can lead to osteoporosis, liver damage in the person consuming it, neurological disorders, headaches, brain swelling. Children and pregnant women are especially vulnerable if they consume too much liver. Birth defects. Impaired calcium absorption. Mild liver failure in young children if eaten too frequently. Raw or undercooked liver, a silent killer you may not know about. In 2021, in Japan, a group of people ate raw chicken liver at a drinking party. Just a few hours later, 2 of them were hospitalized with severe diarrhea, vomiting, and prolonged blood disorders caused by Campylobacter bacteria. The dangers of eating undercooked liver. Possible infections. Campylobacter, Salmonella toxoplasma gondii, which causes serious complications in pregnant women. These bacteria are not destroyed at low temperatures or by searing lightly. Important reminder: liver must be thoroughly cooked to at least 167 degrees Fahrenheit or about 75 degrees Celsius for at least 5 to 10 minutes if you want to enjoy it safely. Scientific tips: how to eat liver the right way. So, how much liver is enough? Adults, no more than once or twice a week, with each serving around 1.8 to 2.6 ounces, or about 50 to 75 grams. Children under 10 years old should not eat more than once a week, around 1 to 1.4 ounces, or approximately 30 to 40 grams. What should you eat with liver to reduce toxins? Garlic, turmeric, leafy greens, and fruits rich in vitamin C. Avoid combining liver with alcohol or other organs, as this can overload your liver. Stay away from liver that looks dark or slimy. These are signs of contamination or disease. Liver, it can be a miracle food for blood health, but it can also be a double-edged sword if you do not know how to handle it properly. There is no need to be afraid of this traditional dish, but be a smart consumer who understands portion control, the source of the liver, and how to cook it right. 2. Grilling meat wrapped in foil at high temperatures. Sounds delicious, right? Imagine a nighttime BBQ party, smoky air, sizzling meat, and bursts of laughter echoing in the background. But just a few hours later, one of the guests is struck with intense stomach pain, vomiting, and ends up in the emergency room. No one could have guessed that the culprit was the shiny layer of aluminum foil wrapped around the meat, something that seems harmless, yet under high heat, it can release harmful substances into your food. This video will uncover the truth behind the popular habit of grilling meat in aluminum foil, a common cooking method that may secretly pose serious health risks. Let us dive in and find out. Aluminum foil. Convenient or dangerous? The main reasons people use aluminum foil are excellent heat retention and faster cooking. Helps keep moisture and flavor inside the food. Easy to handle, especially for outdoor grilling. But scientifically speaking, aluminum foil is made of refined aluminum, a metal that oxidizes easily and releases aluminum ions when exposed to high temperatures. At temperatures above 356 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 180 degrees Celsius, especially when in contact with acidic ingredients, oils, or salty seasonings like lemon juice, sauces, or salt, aluminum can leach into the food. The danger of aluminum, a silent enemy of your brain. Scientific research has linked aluminum exposure to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, memory loss, liver and kidney dysfunction when accumulated over time. A chilling story from a scientific study. In 2011, a study in Egypt revealed that grilling meat in aluminum foil at 392 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 200 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes, caused aluminum levels in the meat to rise to 400 milligrams per kilogram, 4 times higher than the World Health Organization's safety limit of just 2 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day. Imagine this. If you grill large portions of meat for your family every week using foil, you could be unknowingly accumulating hundreds of milligrams of aluminum in your body. The pros and cons of grilling with aluminum foil: advantages: easy to use, good heat retention, prevents meat from drying out, preserves flavor and juices, reduces direct smoke contact if wrapped tightly. Disadvantages: aluminum can leach into food. The hotter and more acidic or salty the ingredients, the more aluminum is released. If foil edges get burned, It may generate additional toxins. Scientific advice. Avoid using foil for grilling when possible. Do not use aluminum foil to wrap meat directly placed over charcoal or flames. Avoid using foil to wrap acidic foods like lemon, vinegar, or tomatoes. Instead, use stainless steel grills or baking paper designed to withstand high temperatures. If you absolutely must use foil, place a layer of banana leaf, taro leaf, or mint leaf between the foil and the food to reduce direct heat exposure. What should you eat with grilled food to help detox heavy metals? Leafy greens, green tea, turmeric, and garlic. These support your body's natural detoxification process. Grilled meat wrapped in foil. It smells amazing and looks mouth-watering, but behind the scenes, a series of chemical reactions could be silently damaging your body's cells day by day. Be a smart consumer. Do not let the convenience of aluminum foil become a hidden curse to your family's health. 3. Hot soup in foam or low-quality plastic containers. A toxic secret hidden in something you thought was convenient. On a rushed morning, a young woman grabs a bowl of hot soup on her way to work. The fragrant steam rises from a white foam container. But just 20 minutes later, she starts feeling dizzy, nauseous, and her mouth goes completely dry. Then collapses at her desk. No one expected the cause to be the container itself, not the soup inside. If you still think using plastic or foam boxes to hold hot food is harmless, watch this video until the end. The truth might just make you change your eating habits immediately. Foam boxes and low-quality plastic. What are they really made of? Foam containers are typically made from polystyrene, a cheap petroleum-based plastic. Its melting point is around 212 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 100 degrees Celsius. But when holding soup or boiling water at just 176 to 194 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 80 to 90 degrees Celsius, the plastic can still begin to break down and release toxic molecules. Low-grade or recycled plastics may contain free styrene, a Group 2B carcinogen classified by the World Health Organization bisphenol A, BPA, a chemical that disrupts hormones, phthalates, softening agents that can cause male infertility and birth defects. Even a single use to hold hot soup can allow these substances to leach into your food and enter your body directly. Silent toxins from the container. How does your body react? Short-term effects include nausea, dizziness, stomach pain, allergic reactions, rashes, a sharp plastic smell, a clear sign the material is breaking down. Long-term exposure and accumulation can lead to breast, prostate, and liver cancers, lower sperm quality, early puberty in children, disrupted hormone balance. A 2018 study from Harvard University showed that BPA levels in the urine of people who consumed hot food from plastic containers were 4 times higher than those who used ceramic bowls. Tips for enjoying hot soup without putting your health at risk. Never pour soup hotter than 158 degrees Fahrenheit or about 70 degrees Celsius into foam or thin plastic containers. Choose glass, ceramic, or heat-resistant plastic marked with code 5, PP. Bring your own stainless steel food jar or porcelain bowl for takeout. If using plastic is unavoidable, let the soup cool down first before pouring it in. Pair your meal with leafy greens and fruits. They help detox heavy metals and harmful chemicals. Every spoonful of soup from a foam box may carry traces of styrene, BPA, or phthalates, substances you cannot see, cannot smell, but which will gradually accumulate in your body over time. If you truly care about your health, Start by saying no to foam and thin plastic containers, starting today. 4. Do you start every morning with a steaming cup of bold black coffee? Or maybe you kick off your day with deeply roasted, crispy cereal and feel like you are making a healthy lifestyle choice. Sound familiar? That is because you, along with millions of others, are doing just that. But there is a truth hardly anyone talks about. Every time you drink over-roasted coffee or eat scorched cereal, you may be silently consuming one of the most dangerous cancer-linked compounds identified by the World Health Organization. It has no smell, no taste, no color, but it quietly attacks your healthy cells, day after day. Welcome to the dark truth behind the most aromatic cup of coffee and the crunchiest bite of your breakfast. This video might make you stop sipping your morning brew, possibly forever. Acrylamide, the silent killer from burnt grains. Here is the science behind it. When coffee beans, grains, or potatoes are roasted above 248 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 120 degrees Celsius, a reaction known as the Maillard reaction takes place. It gives food that rich brown color and inviting aroma. But this is also when acrylamide, a chemical compound formed from sugars and amino acids, is produced. Acrylamide is odorless and tasteless, water-soluble and easily absorbed into food, classified as a Group 2A carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Animal studies show high doses of acrylamide increase the risk of lung, pancreatic, esophageal, and nerve-related cancers. The darker and more burnt the food, the higher the acrylamide content. A shocking story: charred cereal and anaphylactic shock. In South Korea, one unusual case stunned many. A young woman regularly ate over-roasted cereal because she liked the bold flavor. One day, after drinking a cup of pre-made roasted rice tea, she suffered intense abdominal pain, went into anaphylactic shock, and had to be hospitalized. Doctors concluded the cereal powder contained an abnormally high level of acrylamide, triggering an acute allergic reaction in a sensitive individual. This was worsened by chemicals from low-quality packaging. The hidden damage: acrylamide's long-term effects. Prolonged exposure to acrylamide may lead to peripheral nerve damage, thyroid hormone disruption, DNA mutations that lead to cancer, negative effects on reproductive health. A report from the European Food Safety Authority stated, instant coffee can contain up to 100 to 400 micrograms of acrylamide per kilogram, while the recommended safe limit is only 0.17 micrograms per kilogram of body weight per day. That means just 2 cups a day over many years could be enough to exceed the safety threshold. The pros and cons of dark roast coffee. Advantages: more intense aroma, bold flavor preferred by strong coffee drinkers, longer shelf life. Disadvantages: high risk of toxic compound formation when over-roasted, loss of natural enzymes and vitamins, uncontrolled production of acrylamide solutions, and smart habits for coffee lovers. Safe practices include: choose medium roast coffee, light brown in color, not pitch black. Avoid instant coffee with unknown origins. Do not give over-roasted cereals or burnt rice powder to children. Avoid roasting any food above 356 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius for extended periods. Pair your diet with natural antioxidants like green tea, vitamin C, garlic, and leafy greens. Acrylamide cannot be completely avoided, but we can minimize exposure through smart choices. You can love coffee, but do not let that bold taste come at the cost of your health and your life. A morning cup of coffee is perfectly fine, as long as you know how to pick the right roast, understand the risks, and never let the burnt flavor silence the voice of science. 5. Do you always scrape up the crispy, browned bits stuck to the bottom of the pan when eating stir-fried noodles or fried rice? The more charred, the more fragrant. The crispier, the more satisfying. That irresistible crunch may be the most enjoyable part of your meal, but it could also be a silent dose of poison, slowly building up in your body day after day. In this video, let us uncover the darker side of these seemingly harmless dishes, which, if cooked the wrong way or eaten too often, can contain cell-mutating substances that damage the liver and significantly increase your risk of cancer. First, let us talk about the toxins created when food is burnt. When noodles or rice are stir-fried or pan-fried at high temperatures, especially when parts of the food get scorched or stick to the bottom of the pan, several harmful compounds are produced. Acrylamide, formed when starchy foods are burned at temperatures above 248 degrees Fahrenheit or about 120 degrees Celsius, causes gene mutations and DNA damage. Classified by the World Health Organization as a probable human carcinogen, heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, formed when protein-rich ingredients like eggs or meat in your stir-fried noodles are cooked at extremely high temperatures, linked to liver, colon, and stomach cancers. Studies have shown that just one small portion of burnt rice can contain acrylamide levels 4 to 6 times higher than the recommended safety limit, if consumed regularly. In 2019, in Thailand, a 16-year-old girl was hospitalized with severe gastritis and abnormally high liver enzyme levels. She had a peculiar habit, eating the charred portions of stir-fried noodles 3 times a week and constantly reusing oil to fry eggs and rice. Doctors concluded the chemical toxins from the scorched food, combined with reused oil, formed a toxic cocktail that damaged her stomach lining and liver. She was required to avoid all fried and charred foods completely for 1 year to recover. A small habit, but a high price to pay. Why do we love burnt food so much? Advantages: tasty, crispy, fragrant, highly appealing. Creates a satisfying, addictive mouthfeel, often seen as the highlight of the dish. Disadvantages: produces multiple carcinogenic compounds when starch and protein are overheated. Damages the stomach, liver, and intestines if eaten frequently. Stimulates abnormal cell growth. Silent, slow-burning damage that is hard to detect. Regularly eating scorched food may lead to chronic gastritis, liver damage, elevated liver enzymes, declining kidney function, increased risk of colon, stomach, and esophageal cancers. What is more dangerous? Many people show no obvious symptoms. The damage typically builds up and only becomes noticeable after 5 to 10 years, which is why most people underestimate the risk. One crispy, charred bite may bring you momentary joy, but it could also harm your liver, damage your stomach, and cost you your long-term health if you keep the habit going. Do not trade years of well-being for just a few seconds of flavor. 6. Sweet treats with high fructose corn syrup. The truth behind the deadly sweetness. Do you enjoy icy sweet treats like bubble tea, candies, fruit yogurt, or fruity syrups? Have you ever taken a closer look at the tiny list of ingredients on the label? The one that mentions high fructose corn syrup? A cup of bubble tea, a pack of cookies, or a bottle of fruit juice? Zoom in, and you will find HFCS right there among the ingredients. It sounds harmless. The sweetness is undeniably satisfying. But did you know? This is the silent culprit behind the global surge in obesity, diabetes, fatty liver, and metabolic disorders. The science behind it. High fructose corn syrup, or HFCS, is a sweetener made from industrially processed cornstarch. Common types include HFCS 55, contains 55% fructose and 45% glucose, often used in soft drinks. HFCS 42 contains 42% fructose, typically used in baked goods and candy. HFCS is cheaper than cane sugar, has a longer shelf life, does not crystallize, and is widely used in the processed food industry. It might seem like just another kind of sugar, but HFCS behaves very differently inside the body and is far more dangerous. How does HFCS affect your body? When consumed in excess, HFCS leads to uncontrolled weight gain, disruption of leptin hormones, making it harder to feel full, elevated blood triglycerides, increasing the risk of heart disease, widespread internal inflammation, increased risk of Alzheimer's disease and depression. What is most alarming is that the most harmful substance might be hiding in your afternoon cup of bubble tea, that convenient morning snack, or the chilled fruit drink you reach for at noon. High fructose corn syrup, that lusciously sweet invisible sugar, is quietly damaging your liver, throwing your hormones off balance, and silently eroding your health day by day. If you truly care about yourself, start by learning how to read food labels. 7. Chemically soaked fruit, dipped and dyed to look tempting. You walk up to a fruit stand at the local market. The plums, green mangoes, and ambarella fruits are all shimmering with a glossy shine, as if freshly coated in varnish. They feel slippery to the touch. Take a sniff? No scent at all. But what you do not know is that just a few minutes earlier, all those fruits had been bathed in a secret chemical cocktail, including bleach, industrial dyes, and even formaldehyde, the same substance used for preserving corpses in hospitals. What you see is freshness, but inside your body, your liver, kidneys, and stomach, a chemical nightmare is silently about to begin. What exactly is inside these chemically treated fruits? The beautifying process at roadside markets and school vendors often includes soaking in bleach, sodium hypochlorite, to brighten the color and strip away blemished skin, adding industrial dyes, rhodamine B, Sudan 3, to create vibrant reds and pinks, spraying with formaldehyde, to extend shelf life and keep fruit looking fresh without refrigeration. These substances are strictly banned in food, but they are still used illegally because they are cheap and work fast. The hidden toxins in these pretty treats. Here is what these chemicals can do to your body. Formaldehyde, formol, used in embalming, extremely toxic. Causes liver, kidney, and central nervous system damage, classified by the World Health Organization as a Group 1 carcinogen. Rhodamine, B, and Sudan 3, industrial dyes. Cannot be broken down in the stomach. Disrupts cell function and causes genetic mutations. Increases the risk of liver, pancreatic, and bladder cancer. Especially dangerous for children, pregnant women, elderly people. Anyone who consumes these foods regularly, even in small amounts. Smart tips for conscious consumers. Choose fruits with a natural appearance. Avoid overly shiny or unnaturally uniform colors. Wash thoroughly using diluted salt water or rice water. Peel fruits before eating, especially guava, apples, and ambarella. Avoid fruits sold from pushcarts, sidewalk vendors, or unknown sources, especially near schools. Eat with detox-friendly foods such as turmeric, green tea, garlic, and leafy greens. They help support liver health and detoxification. Do not let your eyes be fooled by the glossy shine, because underneath might be a hidden dose of poison waiting for its moment to strike. Clean fruit does not need to sparkle. Your health is never worth trading for artificial colors.